DMX warned us. Now it's all coming true. Ayo, let's keep it a buck. DMX wasn't just barking on tracks, he was warning us from day one. While other artists were chasing fame, X was looking past the glitz and glamour and calling out the devil in the details. He said it straight, "I'm not an industry artist, I'm an artist in the industry." That's a statement with weight. X never sold out, never played the puppet, and now, with the walls closing in on Diddy, it's wild how much of what DMX said is starting to feel like prophecy. See, X knew the game. He didn't just peep the surface, he saw the machine underneath, the control, the manipulation, the soul-snatching contracts and backroom deals. He said it plain, the industry wants you dead or alive. They'll build you up, milk you for every dollar, then toss you the second you don't play along. And one name that kept popping up in his warnings? Diddy. Now, Diddy's empire looking shaky. Lawsuits, raids, survivors speaking out, and suddenly, all them throwback DMX interviews hit different. He said Diddy was shady, controlling, fake. Called him out for frontin' like he wrote his own bars when in reality he had other people ghostwriting and building his brand. And worst of all, he said Diddy wasn't just taking advantage of artists financially, he was controlling them spiritually, emotionally, and maybe worse. And DMX ain't the only one. Ice Cube also kept it G. Said he never rocked with Diddy, never even went to one of his infamous parties. Why? 'Cause Ice ain't into that fake Hollywood circle jerk energy. He peeped the vibes and stayed far from it. And now, knowing what we know about what went down at some of those parties, Ice looking wise as hell for that. DMX wasn't just speaking truth, he was yelling it from the rooftops. He talked about how the industry eats people alive. How young, hungry artists get baited in with chains, money, promises, and end up trapped in contracts and surrounded by people who don't give a damn about their soul. And he wasn't speaking in metaphors. Nah, he was real with it. There's one clip where X literally says Diddy was violating his artists. Some folks try to act like he meant financially. But when you look at his face, hear the tone, and line it up with all these recent accusations like Cassie's lawsuit, yeah, it ain't sounding metaphorical no more. And DMX wasn't just barking at Diddy, he came at the whole system. He called out rappers that were doing anything to get ahead, and not just musically. He exposed how artists were literally bending over, selling themselves in every way possible to get through those industry doors. X even called out Ja Rule at one point, saying dude was doing some wild stuff with his stylist to keep his spot. Whether that was beef talk or real tea, one thing's for sure, DMX didn't lie. He spoke raw, no filter, no fear. And back then, instead of listening, people called him crazy, brushed it off. Media clowned him, painted him as unstable, an addict, a problem. Every time X stumbled, they were quick with a mugshot, a scandal, a headline. But here's the real. DMX never had a scandal where he exploited women, never had predatory behavior, never had artists say he was abusive. Meanwhile, the industry was giving awards and titles to dudes like Diddy while silencing the voices of the ones warning us. That's what makes this all hit so different now. Cassie opened the floodgates, and ever since, it's been wave after wave of allegations. And through it all, people are finally re-watching the clips of DMX not rapping, but talking, warning, exposing. He saw through the illusions and called out the whole damn system. He once said, "Don't become a part of the game." And now we know why. The industry don't just want your talent, it wants your image, your soul, your silence. And if you won't give it up, they blackball you, clown you, or break you. DMX walked away from all that, even when it cost him his spot, his money, his peace, because integrity mattered more. And Ice Cube? Same thing. He's still here, still speaking truth, still unbothered, refusing to play the game. And now that the game is exposing itself, turns out they were right all along. Gene Deal, Diddy's ex-bodyguard, came forward and confirmed everything. He said Diddy wasn't just a label exec, he wanted to own people, control every move, every dollar, every song. He'd isolate artists, turn them against their team, make himself the only one in the room. And when someone pushed back, that was it, career over. That explains why so many bad boy artists either disappeared, went broke, or straight up quit the game. They weren't just unlucky, they were pawns in a power play. DMX saw it early. He knew what it was. He peeped the manipulation, the mind games, the devil in designer clothes. He said people in the game would take you out to dinner, buy you drinks, make it seem like business, but really it was about ownership. Who gets to control you? Who gets to say yes or no? And for DMX, the answer was always God. Not the label, not the execs, not Diddy. X talked about being approached by evil, said he had full-on spiritual conversations with the devil on his albums, not for show, but because he believed in showing both sides of the battle. To make the right choice, you had to understand the fight. And after that moment in Arizona, he made a vow. I'm never coming back, not for a visit, not for a show, nothing. That was a man who saw something real, something dark, and he said, I met the devil in God's country. He never named names, but the dots connect. And now that everything's spilling out, from Diddy's lawsuits to Fed circling, X's words feel heavier than ever. But here's the tragedy. X ain't here to watch it unfold. The prophet ain't here to see the fall of the kingdom he tried to warn us about. And maybe that's why his message is finally landing, because we can't ignore him anymore. The industry tried to bury him in bad press. They let his pain become his public identity. But now that the ones he was warning us about are being exposed, it's clear. DMX was never the problem. He was the messenger. And they silenced him because the truth he spoke was too dangerous. Let's not forget, when you're a threat to the machine, they don't just cancel you, they twist your story, exploit your mistakes, and make sure the world only sees your lowest moments. That's what they did to DMX. Cat Williams too. Ice Cube. All them truth-tellers who wouldn't play nice with the elites. And now? All them crazy interviews feel like documentaries. All them wild rants sound like reality checks. So where do we go from here? We stop asking, why was DMX so angry, and start asking, what did he know that we ignored? He saw it all, the manipulation, the trauma, the control, the exploitation. And while everyone else was dancing at Diddy's parties, X was out here sounding the alarm. And now, the alarm's still ringing. So if you still believe in truth, in real artistry, in protecting the culture, give DMX his flowers. Not just for his music, but for his bravery. Because what he said back then, it's all happening now. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think DMX was trying to save hip-hop? Or was he just too real for the game to handle? Hit that subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss the next drop. We exposing it all, one truth at a time. Like this video to show love for DMX and keep real hip-hop alive.